Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and today I want to do another ranking video, and this time I wanted to rank the Devil May Cry games. Now you may be wondering why I wanted to rank them now, and it's because I'm about to start my DMC review videos. I just wrapped up DMC 1, and I wanted to just kind of have this video as a before I do these reviews thing, to give you my thoughts on the DMC games before I replay them back to back. And in this video, I'll only be ranking the original 5 DMC games, so no mobile games or the reboot, mostly because I haven't played the reboot yet. I'll eventually talk about the reboot, but for now, I guess the reboot can go last, since I haven't actually played it. So just to give that heads up in case you're wondering, it's only going to be the 5 numbered games. So yeah, with that, let's get into our number 5 pick.
5!
Okay, you had to know it was going to be this game, right? DMC 2 might be one of the worst sequels we've ever gotten. It's just not fun. Okay, actually I have like 3 things I can say about this game. In the full review, I'm sure I'll go super in depth. But the 3 good things that are in this game are Dante's design is really cool. It honestly might be my favorite design of Dante in any of these games. I think they iterate upon the first design really well. Number 2, Lucia, really cool. I wish she was in a better game, but I think she, 1, looks really cool, 2, love a female playable character. It was the first other playable character and the first character to get their own campaign. So I have to give her credit for that. She does have like a similar story to Trish, but it's a little bit different. I think Lucia's cool, and I really would love for her to come back in a better game. Maybe the anime will have her play a role. And 3, it gave us our first instance of a playable Trish. Because you can play Trish in this game if you beat the game on like hard mode or whatever, and I think that's cool, and I wish Trish just became like the character to play as at the end of the game, because I think she's cool in Devil May Cry 1, and I think she's just like, I think she could be an iconic character for the whole series, if we didn't have another character come up in the game after this. That's basically the only good things I can say about this game. The rest of it is just like, not fun, not really memorable, and not difficult. Devil May Cry 1 gave me a lot of issues playing the first time, but Devil May Cry 2 I was able to kind of like speed through it. And that's not what should happen with me. Like I recently played through the Ninja Gaiden games, and I'm still losing at those stuff. I recently played Devil May Cry 1 and I was still dying a lot. So to play this game blind and do well in a series that should be difficult is not good for me. So yeah, I'm sure some other people will like that. It's also just totally boring to where it's not even fun to slash through enemies. Heck, it's not even fun to use the swords in this game. The guns are the main things you're going to want to kind of use, especially for certain bosses, which I think is very lame. And while the game does give you some more devil arms, they're all swords. They all play basically the same. Devil May Cry 1 had more swords than not, but at least you got something that wasn't a sword. Dante has like one cool line. He's doing this like Two-Face thing, but actually not Two-Face because the coin's double-sided. I guess the final boss looks kind of cool. I don't know, I don't really remember too much of this game. I actually played this game fairly soon after I beat Devil May Cry 1, but because of this game I took a really long break before I played Devil May Cry 3, and that's just to show the quality of this game. I don't think there's a lot of it. I'd be surprised if I ever see this as like someone's favorite Devil May Cry game. I can kind of see all the rest of the games being that, but not this game. And on to the next pick.
4!
The original Devil May Cry. Unlike the last game I talked about, I don't think this is a bad game at all. I just prefer the other games in the series much more. Because this is the first game in the series, there's a lot to learn from it. It was originally going to be Resident Evil 4, so it feels much more like a Resident Evil game compared to like what we know of Devil May Cry now. But there's still a lot of aspects that I do like about this despite it being really old. I love being in the castle. Having you just like traverse around the same area is really cool. Even though you are traversing within the castle, you see new areas like almost like every level. It feels really planned out about where you're supposed to go with each level, and I just love the aesthetic of it. I also really love Dante's voice actor in this game. I know he gets a lot of hate for some of his lines, and rightfully so, but I think if he had some better direction, he could be a top tier Dante. I think he pulls off some of the lines really well.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
And I'll talk about this more in my review, and this is the game that I have played most recently, so I have a lot more to say about it, and I'll try to keep it brief for the review that's coming later. But overall, I think this is a great game. Combat's still really fun to do, if a little wonky with not being able to like truly know who you're locking onto. I really like both devil arms like Alistair and Ifrit. They're really different enough from each other that they are fun to use. I usually prefer the swords, but Ifrit is really fun to use to just like bash through enemies. I also really like the Sparta sword, even though you don't get your devil trigger with it for most of the game. It's just a really cool sword. I like that it turns into a scythe. And the story isn't there too much, but I think it's serviceable enough for the game to where I do have moments I really like. Dante meeting Trish for the first time. Dante getting stabbed with a sword multiple times. Dante seeing Nello Angelo. Really cool moments that I thoroughly enjoy about this game. And I know the final boss fight gets some reasonable hate, with it being a whole different method of like controls and it feels like a whole different game. But I like Star Fox games, and if this game didn't have you have invert controls, I would really like that boss fight a lot more. Yeah, this game has inverted controls for like swimming and flying, and it's weird, but it's not too bad. This is also one of 2 games that have swimming. It isn't really too big of a part of this game. I like barely remember it was in 2. Overall, I like Dante a lot in this game. His voice actor is great, his design is great, Trish is great, Mundus is great, Nello Angelo is great. Yeah, the camera is not great. Fighting bosses multiple times with minimal differences isn't that great. But yeah, I think if this game got a remake and it was able to kind of like adjust some of these things that I dislike, like for the camera for example, or boss fights, I think this game could be a top tier Devil May Cry game. And now on to the next pick.
3.
Devil May Cry 4, the game that probably killed the series until the reboot killed it again. Yeah, this game is a really good Devil May Cry game. It introduces Nero, who I really enjoy. Yeah, I know Dante isn't really the main character in this game, but he's still there a sizable amount. And I really do enjoy playing through this game. The gameplay is very fun. Honestly, it might be the best gameplay in the whole series. Now, I know what you may be wondering, if it's the best gameplay in the whole series, why is this only 3rd? And it's because you play through the game twice. Well, I guess I should say you play through half the game twice. Because midway through the game, you switch from Nero into Dante. Then you run it backwards. And first time playing this, I don't think it was too bad. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I gotta play through this game again. But on repeat playthroughs, I could really see myself disliking playing through it again. The game obviously got kind of rushed to where they had to pad it out a little bit. And I really would have loved for Dante to get his own campaign, like if it's like Lucia's where it is a whole other disc thing, or if it is just kind of like this, but instead of you running through the exact same levels, they are brand new for Dante. I would have enjoyed that a lot more, and I think it's the biggest negative of this game. And it's a shame, because I think this game is really good. The story is a lot like Bayonetta, even though I guess this game came out before Bayonetta. I like Kyrie, I think she looks cool. She would be a cool playable character like Rias from Trails in the Sky. This is a game where I wish certain stuff did get expanded upon if they just had more time. Like Goal Area being an actual character would have been cool, but no, it's just Trish. And talking about Trish, this game got a special edition and they added a ton of content. And by a ton of content, I mean 3 playable characters playing through the same stuff. So you technically can play through this game 6 times. But they did add Trish and Lady finally as playable characters. And I think that is really cool, and I wish they were playable in all future games, but they're not. They're only really playable in this game. Once again, Trish should just be in every game. But it was really cool playing as Lady. I really do like her moveset. It is a little bit different with her using all her guns, but I think it's cool. I don't love Lady's design in this game. I think it's fine. I don't hate it like other people do. But I enjoy her like Devil May Cry 3 design a lot more than this game, but it's fine. And I'm sure I'll talk about this in the full review I'll eventually do, but I wish they got their own campaign to really make them shine, because I don't want to play through Devil May Cry 4 again just to use their movesets. But yeah, I do like if they are playable. They really should be playable in every game, but I guess at a certain point you just get too many playable characters. And speaking about motivation, you also get to play as Virgil, and it's the same thing where you can just kind of play through the whole game again but as Virgil. And he's cool. I like his moveset. I kind of like his moveset in every game he's playable in, but he's good here. Story-wise, like I said, I did enjoy Devil May Cry 4. I think Nero is an interesting character. I like his literal devil arm. I do think it is kind of weird that Nero doesn't get any new weapons. I think you can say this for every character other than Dante. but I think it kind of makes the game a little weird that you're not like upgrading in any sort of way. I think that's a very important part to Devil May Cry, but I guess they also just wanted Dante to feel really different and really cool. Oh, also, it is very important I mention this. I can't believe I almost forgot it. But this is the first Devil May Cry game to give Dante style switching. And it is so cool to be able to switch styles on the fly. In Devil May Cry 3 I'd only play as Trickster, because there's no other real reason to swap when I want to upgrade that certain style. But being able to swap between styles instantly does make Dante a lot more fun, and now on to the number 2 pick.
2.
I could easily see this game swapping with number 1 in the future once I play through them both, but Devil May Cry 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I started playing it when I was going through college, because I guess it's been a year since I played Devil May Cry 2. Let's see if 3's any good. It was amazing, it's difficult, but still really fun. I remember trying to beat Cerberus so many times to finally doing it. It just felt so rewarding to be able to go through this game and struggle, and be able to come out on top. And I really contribute this game to being one of the 3 games that made me love character action games. That and Metal Gear Rising, and I guess kind of Bayonetta / Astral Chain, really got me into these games. And if I didn't love Devil May Cry 3, I probably wouldn't be a fan of the series. I'd probably say this series wasn't for me. But because of Devil May Cry 3, I'm still talking about these games 5 years later. Yeah, this game's really special to me. I love Lady in it, I love Dante and Virgil. It's the first time we really see Virgil, and kind of the last time officially for a while we see him, so it is really cool to see their relationship. You don't really get too much of that in Devil May Cry 1, though obviously, looking back on Devil May Cry 1, it's kind of obvious that this guy's Virgil. He's even like aura farming like Dante does or whatever. But this version of Virgil is just so good. I love his voice. I love his like obsession with trying to get more power and trying to be more of a demon, while Dante is honestly trying to be more like a human. Now Dante obviously uses his devil powers, but I do think it's a cool contrast between them. And yeah, I just really like Virgil in this game. He's a great main villain. His duels throughout the game are always so fun. And yeah, I also really like Arkham. I did not know the twist was coming up until it did, so that was really fun. And his relationship to Lady is so interesting. Lady basically throwing away her old life to hunt down her father because of what he did is just such good storytelling. It's one of my favorite arcs in the series, especially when she understands that maybe not all demons are bad. And I also really like Lady and Dante throughout this game, especially how they kind of like grow to like each other. And I love like when the credits are rolling or whatever, and they're fighting together at the end of the game. I think that's so cool. This is the game I'm probably most excited to revisit, mostly because I'll be playing the Switch version, which has style switching. But yeah, even without style switching, I think this game is a lot of fun, has really memorable bosses, really good music. I think Devil May Cry 4 also had good music, but Devil's Never Cry is just such a great track. It's one of my favorite Devil May Cry tracks in the series, and this series is filled with a lot of them. And finally, this is the game that introduced Ruben into the series as Dante, and he is a great Dante. As much as I love to see Drew Combs back from Devil May Cry 1, Ruben is just such a good actor for Dante. He's even able to really do Dante well as he gets older. But I have to thank Devil May Cry 3 for introducing us to Ruben as Dante. He's just really good, and he just fits Dante to a T. I'm sure I'll yap about this game a ton when I eventually review it, so I guess I'll leave it at that, and go on to my favorite Devil May Cry game.
1.
I'm sure you could see this coming a mile away, but I love Devil May Cry 5. It's a game that probably shouldn't be as good as it is. It took over 10 years for it to finally come out after Devil May Cry 4, and it's just so good. I think it could have been so easy for them to do another soft reboot where it is more like the original games, but it doesn't necessarily carry over any of that story. Now, it's not like Devil May Cry 5 takes place 5 minutes after Devil May Cry 4 or anything, but it does carry over a lot of what I like about that game. Namely, Nero, he's back. He's actually kind of cooler in this game. His devil arm literally gets taken from him, and he has to use these robotic ones made by Nico, who's another cool character and another great addition to this cast. She gives him robot arms that do different stuff, so Nero does get a little bit of a different kind of moveset, though it is similar to that in Devil May Cry 4. He still doesn't get like a ton of new weapons, but at least he can switch out his hands. But 5 also gives us another good upgrade from 4, with everyone kind of going through the same linear campaign together. Now, everyone kind of gets their own levels. Some of them you can choose to be like one character or another character, and they go like through different routes or whatever, which I think is really cool. But thankfully it's not a DMC 4 situation, where you're not going back through the same game again. But yeah, I really like all the playable characters in this game. New to this game is V, who is kind of a summoner, and I know a lot of people don't like his gameplay style, but I think it's fine. Would I prefer another Dante or Virgil? Sure. But I think it's different enough and still pretty fun. And this game is the first DMC game to use the RE engine, and it looks great. I love all the models. This game also has some of my favorite music in the whole series, and that's saying a lot because I love the music so much throughout all these games. But DMC 5 just has so many good tracks. First, every playable character gets their own track, and they're all really good. I even really like Dante's Subhuman theme. Nero's Devil Trigger is just obviously an amazing song. It's what really got me interested in playing the series, hearing it at the Game Awards, and I still listen to it years later. But Crimson Cloud is also really good. And obviously, I guess I'll talk about it now, but Virgil is obviously another playable character, and Bury the Light is just such a great song. It might be the best Devil May Cry song, and it really encapsulates Virgil's character within this game with him becoming one again. I also really like the story of this game. Dante rediscovering Sparta and kind of embracing more of those powers. I wish the Sparta sword was more like a scythe again, like in Devil May Cry 1, but that's a little nitpick, I guess. And yeah, overall I do like the story. I like that we see almost all the characters. I guess we see everyone but Lucia. My only issue is probably that Lady and Trish don't get to do a lot in this game. They are kind of damsels in distress, which is a little disappointing, though they're really only damsels in distress for like a couple missions, so it isn't like Princess Peach or anything. But I do wish they were playable. I would have loved a Ladies Night DLC, but yeah, it is great to see them in this game at least. I just think it's a really good, solid game, especially coming a decade later, and I wholeheartedly recommend this game to everyone. You'll probably enjoy it more after you play through the rest of the series. I guess this is more spoilers, so I won't show any of it on screen, but the climax of this game, and like the final resolution I guess, is really good. If you're a fan of the series and you somehow haven't played this game, I'd recommend you play it just for that scene. It's so good, and the fight before it, or I guess the two fights before it even, really good. I wish this game really revitalized the series in a way that we still got new games, because it's been 6 years. No Devil May Cry 6 yet. Capcom, seriously, after Onimusha, get on it. And make it just Ladies Night plus Nero the game. I'd buy like 10 copies. But yeah, those are my current rankings of the Devil May Cry series. But yeah, I really love this series, and I can't wait to see how my thoughts change. If I like certain things better, if I dislike some other things. But I just wanted to put this video out because I wanted to have a record of what I thought about these games at this point in time. Let me know what you think about Devil May Cry, where you would rank all these games. You may somehow have a complete opposite list. I'd be surprised if you did, but you may love 2 and you may hate 5. So yeah, let me know how you would rank the games, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and goodbye.